The flames were already eating through the second floor when Daniel realized someone was still inside. Smoke clawed at his throat as he stood across the street, clutching his daughter's tiny hand. People were shouting, sirens were still far away, and neighbors were filming instead of moving. The fire roared like a living beast, devouring windows, curling black smoke into the sky. "Daddy!" someone screaming, little Mia whispered, her voice trembling. Daniel froze. At first, he told himself it wasn't his problem. He had already lost enough. His job, his savings, his dignity. He couldn't risk his life too, not when his 5-year-old daughter depended on him for everything. But then he heard it again. A faint, desperate cry from inside the burning building. "Help, please." Daniel closed his eyes for a split second. He saw Mia's face if he didn't come back. He saw the eviction notice sitting on their kitchen table. He saw the look people gave him now, unemployed, broke, a man who used to matter. And then something deeper stirred inside him. "Stay here," he said firmly, kneeling in front of Mia. "Don't move, no matter what. Do you understand?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Daddy, don't go." He kissed her forehead. "I'll come back, I promise." He didn't wait for himself to think again. He ran straight into the fire. The heat hit him like a wall, searing his skin, stealing the air from his lungs. The hallway was already collapsing, pieces of ceiling crashing down, sparks flying everywhere. He wrapped his jacket over his mouth and pushed forward, following the sound of coughing. "Hello," he shouted. "Where are you?" "Here," a woman's voice cried weakly. I'm stuck." Daniel turned toward the sound and found her in a corner office. A beam had fallen, trapping her leg beneath it. Flames licked the walls around her, closing in. For a moment, everything slowed. She was well dressed, even in the chaos, sharp blazer, elegant posture despite the pain. Not someone who belonged in a place like this. Not someone used to being helpless. "Don't worry," Daniel said, forcing calm into his voice. "I've got you." He grabbed the beam and tried to lift it. It barely moved. His muscles screamed. The fire grew louder. "Leave me," she coughed. "You won't make it if you stay." Daniel shook his head. "Not happening." He repositioned himself, digging deep, using every ounce of strength he had left. He thought of Mia waiting outside. He thought of the promise he made. With a roar, he lifted the beam just enough. "Pull your leg," he shouted. The woman cried out but managed to drag herself free. Daniel grabbed her arm and pulled her up. "Can you walk?" I think so." "Good. Then don't stop." They stumbled through the smoke-filled hallway, the heat intensifying with every second. The exit was barely visible, just a flicker of light beyond the chaos. Then part of the ceiling collapsed behind them. The building groaned. They had seconds. Daniel tightened his grip on her and pushed forward, shielding her as flames surged around them. His arm burned, but he didn't let go. Finally, fresh air. They burst out of the building just as the front windows exploded behind them. The crowd gasped. Someone rushed forward. Sirens screamed closer now. Daniel dropped to his knees, coughing violently, his chest heaving. "Daddy!" Mia ran into his arms, sobbing. He held her tightly, his whole body shaking. The woman sat a few feet away, also coughing, but alive. Safe. For a few moments, no one spoke. Just the crackle of fire and the distant wail of sirens filled the air. Then the woman looked at Daniel. Really looked at him. Her expression shifted, from relief, to confusion, to something else. Recognition. "Daniel," she whispered. He frowned, wiping soot from his face. "Do I know you?" She stared at him, her eyes widening. And then his world tilted. Because he recognized her too. Clara Hastings, the CEO, the woman who had fired him 2 months ago. The silence between them felt louder than the fire. Daniel slowly stood, Mia still clinging to him. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Clara's face was pale beneath the soot, her composure shattered. This wasn't the confident, untouchable executive he remembered. This was someone shaken, vulnerable. "You," she said softly. "You saved me." Daniel let out a short, humorless breath. "Yeah, looks like it." Memories flooded back, sitting across from her in that cold, glass office. The way she barely looked at him as she spoke. "Your position has been made redundant." Just like that, 10 years of loyalty erased in a 5-minute meeting. No warning, no second chance. He remembered begging, not for himself, but for Mia. "Please, I just need time. I have a daughter." "I'm sorry," she had said, though her tone held no warmth. "This is a business decision." And now here she was. Alive because of him. I didn't know it was you, Daniel said quietly. Inside the building, Clara swallowed. I didn't recognize you either. Mia looked between them, confused. Daddy, who is she? Daniel hesitated. Someone from my old job. Clara flinched slightly at that. Sirens grew louder as fire trucks arrived. Paramedics rushed in, checking both of them. You need treatment, one medic insisted to Daniel. I'm fine, he said, though his arm throbbed and his lungs burned. Clara was helped onto a stretcher, but her eyes never left Daniel. Wait, she said, reaching out. Don't go. He paused. Why? He asked, his voice calm but heavy. Her lips parted, but no words came. What could she say? Thank you, sorry. Neither felt big enough. Daniel looked down at Mia. Her small hand was still gripping his, her trust unwavering. That mattered more than anything. We should go, he said gently. Clara's heart sank. Daniel, please. He turned back, meeting her eyes. For the first time, she saw something she hadn't noticed before. Not anger, not bitterness, just distance. I didn't save you because of who you are, he said. Or because of what happened. Her throat tightened. I saved you because you needed help, he continued. That's all. And with that, he walked away. Days passed, but Clara couldn't forget his face. Not the man she had dismissed in a boardroom. The man who had carried her out of a burning building without hesitation. She sat in her office, staring at the city skyline, replaying everything. The layoffs, the decisions, the way she had prioritized numbers over people. It had always made sense before. Until now. Find him, she told her assistant. Within hours, she had Daniel's address. A small, modest apartment in a worn-down neighborhood. She hesitated before knocking. This wasn't something she was used to, stepping into someone else's world like this. The door opened. Daniel stood there, surprised. Mia peeked from behind him. Clara suddenly felt out of place. Hi, she said softly. Daniel frowned slightly. What are you doing here? She took a breath. Can we talk? He hesitated, then stepped aside. Come in. The apartment was simple but clean. Toys neatly arranged. A small table with bills stacked on one corner. Clara noticed everything. The reality of his life. I owe you more than just a thank you, she began. Daniel crossed his arms. You don't owe me anything. That's not true, she said firmly. You risked your life for me. He shrugged. Anyone would have done the same. No, she said quietly. They wouldn't have. Silence hung between them. Clara looked at Mia, who was watching curiously. You have a wonderful daughter, she said. Daniel's expression softened slightly. She's my whole world. Clara nodded. That's why I'm here, she said. I made a mistake. He didn't respond. I thought I was making the right decisions for the company, she continued. Cutting costs, increasing efficiency. But I stopped seeing the people behind those decisions. Daniel's jaw tightened. I saw numbers, she said. Not lives. Mia tugged on Daniel's sleeve. Daddy, is she sad? He glanced down at her, then back at Clara. Looks like it, he said quietly. Clara let out a small, broken laugh. I want to fix this, she said. Daniel shook his head. Some things can't be fixed. Maybe not completely, she admitted. But I can try. He studied her, searching for something. Sincerity, regret, humanity. For the first time, he saw it. What are you offering? He asked. Clara took a deep breath. Your job back, she said. With a better position, better pay, full benefits. Daniel blinked. And not just you, she added. I'm reviewing every layoff decision. I want to rebuild things the right way. Mia's eyes lit up. Daddy, does that mean you'll be happy again? Daniel looked at her, his heart aching. He thought about the sleepless nights. The stress, the fear of not being enough. And then he thought about the fire. About the moment he chose to risk everything for someone who had taken so much from him. I don't want the job because I saved you, he said slowly. I know, Clara replied. I want it because I deserve it. She nodded. You do. Another pause. Then Daniel extended his hand. Then we do this properly. Clara smiled, relief flooding her face, and shook his hand. Properly. Weeks later, things began to change. Daniel returned to work, not as the man who had been fired, but as someone stronger, wiser. Clara transformed the company culture, focusing on people as much as profit. And every now and then, when their paths crossed, there was an unspoken understanding between them. Not of power, but of humanity. One night, Mia asked a simple question. Daddy, Why did you save her if she was mean to you before? Daniel smiled, tucking her into bed. Because doing the right thing isn't about who people are, he said softly. It's about who we choose to be. Mia thought about that, then nodded. I want to be like you, she said. Daniel kissed her forehead. That's all I could ever hope for. And as he turned off the light, he realized something. Sometimes, the hardest moments in life, the fires we run into, don't just test us. They reveal us. And if we're brave enough to choose kindness, even when it hurts, we don't just save others. We save ourselves.